Hey guys, so what's going on? We are looking at the D4vd case. Now, in video one, we looked
D4vd
at
cast review app 3.
The background of the story. I'm kind of blank about it because it's been a few days. It was already recorded, but we just kind of looked at what he did to her. What he did to her remains and how they were able to tie him to it, because he used a different alias that he used in a lot of different things to order the stuff that he would later use to dismember her body. And the bag that her body was found in was one of the bags that he had purchased online. So he was a very, very busy young man, and I'm thinking he has a very vivid imagination. As you know, a lot of brilliant people go real deep in their thought process, okay? Really, really deep. And I'm not surprised that he was so morbid the way that he was. I'm just not. Just based upon all the information that has been released about him, about the fact that he was home, introverted, kept very close, gets out there, and the first time he sets his eyes on someone, she's a younger girl, and he automatically decides that's the one. And, you know, men are, you know, he did what he did. But let's go ahead and look at where we are right now. So what we're doing is an update as today. I just kind of want to brief on something about the text messages, because him and her have been corresponding for a minute, and what I'm getting from what I've read is that he was communicating with Celeste as if Celeste was a grown woman and Celeste was a child. Celeste was 13 years old, so she did not know what the world was going on. What they're trying to prove right now is that D4vd, whose real name is David Burke, began sexually abusing Rivas Hernandez when she was 13 and he was 18. Then her to death when she threatened to reveal their long sexual history and crater his career. And in her defense, she was a child. She was only responding to what she knew. She was retaliating because he had groomed her, and he was taking the attention he had given her away. A Los Angeles Police Department detective testified about explicit photographs found on David Burke's phone that allegedly depicted sexual acts involving Burke and Rivas Hernandez. The detective also described numerous text messages exchanged between the two that discussed pregnancy and abortion, including some messages sent 2 months after Rivas Hernandez's 13th birthday. One message from Burt read, "Let this abortion be the last one till we have the real one." Now, what gets me is that he was older than her. Now, honestly, they were both very young, but he's talking to Celeste like Celeste know what her body can do. Celeste don't even know what her body can do. Her eggs had just dropped. You was killing babies, and she didn't even know that she was still one. Child, keep him in jail. Keep him in jail. As the images and text messages were discussed in court, Rivas Hernandez's mother began crying. Her father looked down at the detective as the detective began describing the photos. Less explicit photos of the couple kissing and lying in bed together had been shown on a screen. Deputy District Attorney Bess Silverman came over to comfort the mother, Mercedes Martinez, and the couple got up and left the courtroom. I don't know if I would have been able to be in a courtroom. And to be honest, y'all, I'm gonna say this in a nice way. I'm kind of a firecracker. So when it comes down to things that emotionally affect my heart, I don't even know if I would have been able to be in the courtroom without restraints. I'm just being honest, because if my daughter I don't know about her intimate life. I don't want to know about her intimate life, because psychologically and mentally, my brain would not be able to wrap around her intimate life. So I'm just saying, that's just how I am. So I don't know, you know, some people are different. So Burke has been charged with murder, sexual abuse of a child, and mutilation of a body, and they did that because he did her so bad after she was already gone. That's why I know he did a ritual. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges, and his attorney maintains he is innocent. I don't know how, but I understand. You know what? Let me not play that game. I understand the legal system. The attorney's doing the job he was hired to do. So let's go on to see what's going on in the case today. We are closing out with The Guardian to get a update about where the case is today. This was published on August 1st, 2026. And it said, D4vd hearing details high hopes and brutal end of girl at heart of murder case. So they're going to go a little bit into details as to what happened to her, and we're going to look at it together. Okay, a recent court hearing has shed new light on the allegedly abusive relationship between rising pop star D4vd and 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez in the months before her mangled and decomposing body turned up last September, stuffed in an impounded car registered to the musician. Let's just say this: a lot of relationships are toxic until you meet that one. Because Steve Harvey said something that sticks out to me. He said that he was not a good man, like meaning like, you know, to be in a relationship with, until he became what God needed him to be, and then he really adores the wife that he has currently. Some people would say it's selective about who he chose, but it's his life. He chose it, and he's now living a more happier life because he is connected to God and he is having a more godly relationship with his wife. So toxic is kind of like what a lot of people are experiencing today, because the relationships that they are in, they're not supposed to be in. D4vd born David Anthony Burke is set to stand trial for murder, child sexual abuse, and mutilation of human remains in connection to the teenager's death. Los Angeles County prosecutors accused Burke of stabbing Celeste to death and subsequently severing her limbs as he sought to prevent her from revealing their sexual relationship, which began when he was 18 and she was 13 in November of 2023. My only thing is, he wanted to take her out for her not to talk, but I don't think he had to be delusional, because why would he not think he would be caught? Burke has pled not guilty to the charges. That proves to me that a lot of people who move in dark energy, they're dumb. They're literally letting the devil control them, and they do stupid shit. They do stupid shit, and they think stupid thoughts, thinking they're getting away with it, and they're really just setting themselves up to be the joke or butt of jokes. The ghastly discovery of Celeste's remains sent social media sleuths, particularly those in corners of Discord where Burke had carved a niche as an online gamer before pivoting to music, racing through the singer's past videos and content for any clues concerning his ties to Celeste. He was talking to her in Discord for a while. That's where he met her at. The clearest picture yet of their interactions emerged during a recent preliminary evidentiary hearing where prosecutors presented text messages that the two exchanged, stretching back to 2022 when Celeste was 11. At times, Burke regaled the girl with dreams of an idyllic future, her moving into his house, getting married in Italy, and having children together, because he was a star. And man, when I was like young, I was so in love with musicians too. So she's not wrong. Most girls are. I mean, boys have posters on the wall. So she wasn't wrong. The fact that she was a minor and had been reported missing by her family, however, cast a shadow over those plans. I can't wait to move in together without the cops bitching, baby, Burke allegedly wrote in June of 2024 to her. Courthouse News reported. Months prior, in February, police officers visited him at a residence inn in West Hollywood after finding his number in the teenager's phone log as they sought her whereabouts. When police informed Burke of her age, he shared that he thought she was 18. Tess indicated that he wanted the sexual nature of their relationship to be a secret. She had asked him in July of 2024 if anyone knew they had intercourse. Nope, and I would like to keep it that way before we get married, Burke replied. The teenager expressed a desire for a more serious connection. All we do is have sex and just hang out, man. I want more than that for myself, she reportedly said. At 13, she was forced to say this. Wow. In January 2024, after Celeste had become pregnant with Burke's child, she had an abortion, which she later regretted. I don't like talking about it because it gets me really upset, but I do anything to have it back, she reportedly told Burke in August of 2024. Let's end that there, he replied. I don't like talking to you when you're upset, adding later that while the abortion saddened him, he did not dwell on it. The night before, prosecutors say Burke killed Celeste in April of 2025. They had a heated argument over text about his relationship with another woman. The teenager allegedly threatened to end his career. Okay, so guys, the last video, we're just going to go over the last part of this article, and we're going to close it out, and you guys can leave your comments in there.